and welcome back to the Mastering PHP Image Processing video textbook. Here. Do you want to learn how to resize user-uploaded images on the fly? You want to know how to make thumbnail images from large images on the fly? Do you want to make sure your site only houses optimized images for web rendering? If you answered yes to any one of those three questions, you're watching the right video, because I want to show you how to do those things. Some people say my functions are so funky and my code is so lean. I'm like a code assassin. Alright, so we're going to work with the same image upload application in PHP that we created in the last video tutorial. If you missed that, go back and check it out. So we have my file, which is a simple HTML file upload form. And then we have our PHP parse script for that upload form. Now what I'm going to show you is, after you successfully uploaded the file, is how to resize that file, or then further edit the file at any point in your scripts that you want. So in order to do that, we have to clearly know the file's extension that's being uploaded. And here we're getting the file type, which shows us if it's an image/JPEG type or image GIF type. But really what we're after is to get the actual file's extension. You know how when somebody uploads an image, it's either going to be a .jpeg or it's going to be a .gif or maybe a .png. We want to be able to take that extension, PNG, GIF, or JPEG, off of the file name. So no matter whether it's a GIF, PNG, or JPEG, this will work. See these two lines I just put in to our little upload script? The first variable is called kaboom. And what that's going to do is hold a little array. And I called it kaboom because we're using the explode function in PHP, which creates an array out of a string. So all I'm doing is taking the file name. So if somebody uploads a file name boy.gif, that'll be the file name boy.gif, and it's going to have the explode function run on it. And the dot is going to be the separator that explode will explode upon. So if you wanted to explode by commas, you would just put a comma there. But I'm going to explode by the dot because I know there's going to be a dot in that string in between the actual file's title and the file's extension. So kaboom is actually going to be an array that has two elements in it. Whatever was on the left side of that dot is going to be the first element in the array. Whatever was on the right side of that dot is going to be the second element in the array. So I can grab that second element in the array, knowing very well that that's going to be the file's extension. And I can grab it by claiming the kaboom array right here and claiming the key of 1, which is definitely going to be the file's extension. If I wanted to grab the title, I would make this a 0. But since I want the extension, I'm making this a 1. So I will have the file extension at that point, just by using the file name and the explode function. And then down in your script where you're displaying all this other stuff, you can put another line here that says the file extension is, and it'll say JPG or GIF or PNG, because when you echo out the file type, it doesn't just say JPG or GIF or PNG, it says image/JPEG and things like that. It's not really what you want to do when you're evaluating to look for a file's extension. But you can see our preg match does a good job digging out any matches for PNG, JPEG, or GIF within the file name. But the reason why I had to get the file's extension from the file being uploaded is for the resizing function, which I'm going to show you right now. So basically all I've added to this file upload application is now our PHP script finds out the exact file extension and stores it in this variable. Alright, now before we integrate our script to resize the image on the fly when it's uploaded, let's get our bearings for a second here. What do we have here? All we have is a simple file that uploads an image using the move uploaded file function. So maybe you have a community type site where you have users and you allow your users to upload images and you use the move uploaded file function. Now I'm going to show you how to add something right after your move uploaded file function to allow you to resize that photo that the user just uploaded, okay? So you can add this to any scripts that you use right now on your site that you allow users to upload files and you use the move uploaded file function. You'll be able to integrate this resizing function, no problem, into your existing scripts that upload files. Now I'm going to go down to a point in my script where it seems like it would make good sense to resize the image after it's uploaded to the server. So I'm going to do it right after this unlink function here. I'm going to pop in these lines of code right here. You can see I have comments above them and below them. Comment above is include Adam's universal image resizing function. The bottom comment is end Adam's universal image resizing function. That way you guys can see exactly where that is, remove it when you need to remove it, put it in when you need to put it in, whatever. Now this custom function that I've created here for resizing images, it requires 5 parameters. I'm going to explain the 5 parameters to you right now. And then after I explain the parameters that this function needs to be fed, I'll show you the script where the function resides. And that script is called PHP image library 1.0. So it'll just be handy dandy functions that are all wrapped up nice to help you guys do things as far as image processing goes, like this resizing function. But you can see it's just adding these few lines to your existing script, and you have to make sure you include this file here, which I'm going to supply the scripts for all this. Okay, so you're including a file called AK, or you can name it whatever you want. I'm naming mine AK PHP image library 1.0.php. So I include that file, and in that file there is a custom function that I've written out that is just made specifically for resizing either a JPEG, a GIF, or a PNG, depending on what type of file it is being uploaded. So once that's included, at any time you can run this AK image resize function, and that function is looking for 5 parameters. The first one is target file. Target file, you can see, has a value of uploads file name, and that's just basically where your move uploaded file just put that new file that has just been uploaded by the user, the big original file. So you just put that value in the target file variable. The resized file variable is the next parameter that the function requires, and that's going to be wherever you want the new resized file to live. If you want it to not be in the uploads folder and go into a totally different folder, maybe for a user somewhere or something, you can specify that here, and you can specify the name. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right into the uploads folder where the original file is being uploaded to, and I'm just going to put a prefix to it called resized underscore. So basically it'll be in the same folder with the original file that gets uploaded, but it'll have a name of resized underscore with the original name attached to it, and it'll be a much smaller version of the original. Now the third parameter is the width max. The width max is what you set for the maximum width that you want the file to be reduced to. It'll be no bigger than 200 pixels. Now the fourth parameter is height maximum. This will be the maximum value for the height pixels. So the image that's resized, there's no way it can be any higher than 150 pixels. You can set these numbers to whatever you want. And don't worry, the function is going to resize it proportionally. It'll scale it down without warping it at all. And finally, the fifth parameter that this function is looking for is the file extension, which was what I explained to you when we used explode. We grabbed the files extension out of the file name, and that we're sending to this function as the fifth parameter, you see? So now what you've done in your script is, you've moved uploaded file like you normally do, and then right after you know that that's successfully uploaded, you can run this code. You can add these lines. You got to make sure you set your variables correctly here for the 5 parameters that get fed to this function. The function name is AKImageResize, and that function lives in a file that we've included here to this script called AKPHP image library 1.0.php. Now before we take a look at the inner workings of this file, let's test this on the server to make sure that this actually will allow upload of a JPEG, GIF, or PNG, and it'll take either the JPEG, GIF, or PNG and resize any one of them, no matter which type I upload. Once we see that's all working, we know we have a killer function that works real nice, and then I'll explain that function to you. I'll show it to you, and I'm also going to share the code with you, which will be in a link in the description of this video on YouTube. You can click that link and you'll see all this code on the bottom of the page that you'll need. Now on my server, this is what I ended up with before I had just the image upload application that we originally created. Now I'm going to add the AK PHP image library 1.0 that holds my universal image resizing function. And I'm going to make sure that I replace my newly adjusted image upload script, which now holds these 5 lines of code that feed that function. Okay, here we are testing it out live online. So let's choose File. The first one I'm going to do is this flower. And I purposely have different kinds of pictures here, and they all have different shapes. For instance, this one is much wider than it is high, this one is much higher than it is wide, and this one's like a normal shot. And this one's a GIF, this one is a JPEG, and this one's a PNG. So we'll see the whole variation of things that we need to check out when we're testing this script. So I'm going to try the PNG flower first. Upload it. And the PNG is probably the largest file, and you can see the upload progress down at the bottom there. It'll probably take the longest to upload, but it's going to be resized as well, and that only takes a split second. So here's the results. Flower PNG was uploaded. There's the size, there's the type. Now we see the extension too, remember? Now let's just go back and let's upload the girls.jpg picture. Upload it. That's going to upload in no time flat. Let's go back and get the last one, which is the GIF. Upload it. That one's done. Alright, so that's the results from uploading all the original files. And remember, we added resizing of all the original files as well. So now in our uploads folder, we should see something interesting. So let's look inside of our uploads folder now. Now you can see we have flower PNG, girls.jpg, and sky.gif are all the originals. Now here the resized flower.png, resized girls.jpg, and resized sky.gif. Look how much smaller they are. A lot smaller, because we thumbnailed them on the fly while they were being uploaded. Now in my script, I can very easily unlink these originals if I don't want to keep them. But in this case, I'm just going to keep them so we can see exactly what's going on. But you can very easily use the unlink function on any file on your server. Now I'm going to bring these resized images over to my local machine. I'm going to take a good look at them. So here you can see the folder where I just brought those over from the server. Let's look at the original flower. Let's preview that. You can see the size of it. And that's really, it's a little bigger than that, but you'll see the thumbnail